All right, here we go. Happy Monday, middle of summer, July 20th. Hard to believe in the midst of COVID and lots to talk about. I'm going to talk about some client success stories to hopefully motivate you. I'm going to talk about the fact that people are not always successful the first time around, maybe even not the 10th or the 100th time, but eventually, if we can take some more appropriate, healthy kind of strategies to be successful in driving our health, living that long, healthy, independent life, that we can really make complete change. So I think it's important to understand that, number one, you're not alone. If you're feeling like you're struggling, misery loves company. So guaranteed there's people out there that feel exactly the same way that you do. But remember, we talk about all the time about controlling that which you can control, which is what you choose to put in your mouth and how you choose to move your body. So I have a client who looks like she's coming back to me. We worked with each other a couple of years ago. Had a tremendous success story. Somebody who was postmenopausal and really just out of shape, and doctor said it's time. So a lot of clients come to me at that point when not only are they sick and tired of being sick and tired, but when somebody else, aka their doctor, says you need to lose weight, you need to change your eating, you need to exercise. Should ask the doctor if they're doing any of those things, because most of them are not. So that being said, this gal kind of had that cattle prod poked at her and jumped on board with me. She had another relative who had worked with me and seen success, so she made a decision to get on board with me. And honestly, I think in 90 days, she made such significant changes. So we always talk when we start about metrics, right? So I think getting on the scale once a week for somebody who's looking to make change is important. So that we can see if we're hitting your sweet spot. Even if you're looking to stay the same in terms of perhaps your weight, but improve your health, like we need to see if we're getting enough calories. Are you getting the calories you deserve? Are you overeating those calories? And what are the ramifications of that? So those are all things that matter. In her case, she needed to lose some weight, and she was extremely unfit. So she felt like even just like walking in the mailbox, she wasn't able to do that successfully, just not in a good place. And so basically we kind of started with the fitness macros, and everybody can look at the fitness macros. They're in the private portal on the website. You have access to those. You pick your level 1, 2, or 3. Level 1, not exercised anytime recently. Level 2, off and on in the last 30 days. Level 3, regular in the last 30 days. And then you start to move into it, and it gives you a goal for your cardiovascular exercise. It gives you a goal for your strength component, which is everything can be done at home or in your neighborhood. And then it gives you a goal for your mobility, which is moving every single joint in your body. And there's video by Samantha Bee that walks you through it. So number one, if you haven't participated in the fitness macros that live on the website, you should take advantage of. It's a great place to start. It's a great place to add in. It's all good. So, so this gal had started with that. And once she started preparing meals for her and her husband, number one, she liked to cook, so that was not a problem. She was retired, had more time to cook. They both enjoyed it. Started to kind of follow those fitness macros, start walking and starting to improve her health. And honestly, by the end of 30, 90, 60, 90 days, she was so much more active in more group sporting things, doing more activities in general, and really reaping the benefits of this newfound lifestyle, paying attention to what she was eating, enjoying everything, and this new added fitness bonus. And lived this life for quite a while until she started having some health issues with back pain, and then COVID hit, and all bets were off. And it happened to a lot of people. So number one, not alone. Don't feel alone in this weird time that we're living in, 2020. But so, you know, the comfort food started coming out, less, you know, less thought about food, more calorie consumption, weight gain, no exercise, all leads to a really unhappy person. And so we connected again, and hopefully we're going to start working together. But we kind of talked about how things have changed over the last couple of years, how, you know, we really have this lovely template which will allow you to, you know, come up with these breakfasts and snacks that don't have to be thought about much, that are simple and easy. Really, the big deal is consuming them. I actually have in my car right now shelf stable low fat milk, shelf stable Ripple pea milk, pea beverage. So those can sit in my car. They're like 100 calories each. They're great sources of protein, great sources of calcium, easy. So those are in my trunk in case I'm not home at snack time. Also in my car are some dried fruit and some dried nuts. So right then and there, as long as I know appropriate portion sizes, well, after all this time, I better, they're in there for me. You, on the other hand, could put in little Ziploc bags or little Tupperware containers, appropriate amounts of those things, so that if and when you are out on the road and have no snack, or maybe running behind for a lunch, and you know you have stuff at home for lunch, so you maybe just swap lunch and snack, you're all set. So, you know, planning, being premeditated is really important at this point if you want to be successful, because good health, healthy food, fitness levels don't come just by osmosis. Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, not happening. So really looking forward to connecting with this person. We talked a lot about this time letting me help her get up on the horse. And then if she chooses to get off the horse, then I will bring over a step stool, a little ladder, or I will help her down. Okay. That she should not decide to hop off the horse and potentially risk injury that is not necessarily easy to heal from. I'm talking about another client that I have who, for probably her entire adult life and possibly into childhood, has struggled with her weight. Significant weight struggles, enough so that she went through bariatric surgery. And I have several clients who are post-bariatric surgery who eat Mama Cheese. It's interesting with bariatric surgery because, you know, if you ever watch shows like My 600-Pound Life, you can actually stretch your stomach back out and end up eating large quantity of foods that got you into the point that you're in. Those people are morbidly obese. But for this particular client, you know, kind of what they say was failed her bariatric surgery and has been on every diet program known to mankind. And guess what? They all work. What's the key word? Temporarily. That's the key word. So they all worked temporarily. Like people say, the diet worked for me until you went on the diet and the diet didn't work anymore. So really important to own it. You know, when you go to therapy, you got to pick up the mirror and look at yourself. But guess what? You won't pick up the mirror and look at yourself until you actually go to therapy. What can I say? And then you would have a therapist who has you pick up the mirror so you could actually own these issues with yourself. So fast forward, we were connected many years with our kids playing sports together. And then out of the blue, we were connected in another way and introduced her to Mama G. And she has been with me since pre-COVID. So February, March, April, May, June. Almost in the July, almost 6 months. Her graph looks like this. I love a graph that looks like this. She has not only been so successful with losing a significant amount of weight, but her level of fitness, her ability to enjoy life has changed dramatically. This is a gal who would say to me, yeah, I walk every day at lunchtime. Um, yeah, I eat healthy food and, all those kind of things. Well, sure, but it takes change, significant change in both of those aspects to actually, you know, improve your health, really allow you to drop some significant weight, which in turn will completely change your life in terms of your health, in terms of your ability. And now this gal is able to do multiple fitness activities throughout the course of the weekend. Fitness is now a joy. Fitness is now part of her everyday life. And she loves everything about the Mama G lifestyle and the food as well. She said in all the recipes she's ever made, there's only one recipe she didn't like. I feel like I need a redo. I'm gonna have to go back and revamp that recipe. But it's thrilling to me. And she feels really blessed, and I feel really blessed that, for the first time in her adult life, that she is now finding joy and finding this really happy place with enjoying food and enjoying this ability to do things she never thought she could participate in. And it's just really wonderful to be part of. Another client I have, we had met when I was doing my practicum with the integrative doctor, and she saw the integrative doctor due to all kinds of issues, thyroid issues, hormone issues, gut issues, was told she had a multitude of things diagnosable wrong with her. And so the solution within the integrative world, which I'm not a fan of, is not food first or fitness first or the combination of both like Mama G, but supplementation. Now I'm going to remind you for the umpteenth time that we have no federal regulation on supplements. That means when you buy a pill, a potion, a powder, that you have no idea if what they said is in that is truly in it. So number one, understand that. The only recourse we have is something called third-party testing. So there's like Consumer Labs. We also have the, why can't I remember? It's 3 little letters that are on like certain Nature Made bottles and certain things like that. Third-party testing. We also see third-party testing within CVS, within Kirkland. So there are certain brands that we can feel rest assured that if they tell you A, B, and C is in it of this quantity, that you can rest assured that that's what it is and nothing else. So that's really important that we look for third-party testing. So if you are using some kind of supplementation, some of it Mama G recommends and some of it Mama G doesn't recommend, I highly suggest that you contact me and we can discuss what brands you're choosing. No kickback for me, but benefit for you to make sure you're using the right thing. So, so this gal was on a multitude of supplements, which cost her probably $200 to $400 a month. When she came to see me, there was a garbage bag, not a garbage bag, a grocery bag, full. And ultimately, we kind of went through everything that was in there and helped her understand a few things about these supplements. What's important for her to understand about these supplements is that she, for a second, that she, number one, all of these supplements she was taking along with medications she might have been taking all can conflict. Okay, so they don't just mesh together, but they can actually cause chaos. So I've seen this across the board where I have clients who might see different medical practitioners. Maybe they go to a chiropractor, maybe they go to a cardiologist, maybe they have a primary care dog, they go down to a gynecologist, like an integrative doctor, like you can see all kinds of practitioners. And unless you go to one pharmacy and their prescriptions, the pharmacist will then know if there is medications that might interact. And that's why it's important to have a relationship with your pharmacist. But if you have all of these medical practitioners prescribing Supplements, so not pharmaceuticals from a pharmacy. Nobody knows what the other one is doing. Nobody knows if they're in an interaction, and ultimately they could be harming you. Because every pill is poison, but it really comes down to the dose in terms of whether it's going to be useful or harmful. All right, so dosage and combinations of things really can be harmful or beneficial. So with this gal, she was taking a plethora of stuff. And we really, at one point when we first met, I put the majority of things back in the bag and I said, these are the things I would consider you continuing to take. The rest of it, I would say, put in the back of your closet. If you're not successful working Mama G's lifestyle, then take them out and go back to them, right? But we're going to experiment with something new. And so we went to real food. She was somebody, you'll see a lot of people who see naturopaths or integrative doctors who are told no gluten and no dairy. It's an automatic that gluten, dairy are the bad guys. The thing is, I disagree completely that I have no clients, none, that can eat gluten or dairy at this point in time. Doesn't mean I won't get a client who fits that bill, but we've been able to improve their lactose intolerance, improve their gluten intolerance, whatever they might have thought they had, so that they can use those foods because there's so many nutritional benefits, plus there's so much joy in terms of the variety of foods you get to eat with those. So she had all kinds of gastric issues, burping and bloating and gas and this and that and the other thing, right? So we talk about distress from the top of your esophagus down to the tip of your anus. And a lot of people come to me with lots of distress in that area. And they're told they have leaky gut and they're told they have reflux and GERD and a million other things. That then they need to take probiotics and they need to take digestive enzymes and all I want them to do is take real food. Get rid of the chemicals, get rid of the crap, get rid of all the supplementation, minus a few supplements that we can't get from our food. And she's been with me since the fall, and she virtually is symptom free. Told me this morning. Weight stable, feels good, so thrilled. But guess what? It takes a commitment. It takes the ability to let go of all the stuff people have told you. I have clients all the time saying, well, what about this? What about that? What do you think about this? So I have a client, a young woman, who's a athlete. And so we've been working together and, pre-working together. And again, this was pre-COVID. She used to eat 3+ bars a day. Bars. I'm spilling water all over myself. Number one, anything that comes in a package that fills up our landfills drives me crazy, number one. Number two, half the ingredients in it are chemicals. Number three, it's a waste of money. Number four, where's the real food? So multitude of things. She's like, but I really like him. And so we kind of made an agreement that we'd only have one a day and different things like that. So we kind of worked, we worked together to get her into eating more real wholesome food. And I'm so proud of her. So incredibly proud of the beautiful food she eats. But there was a point when she was complaining that she was having a lot of gas and bloating and different things. And we had to talk about the fact that, pre-Mama G, she was eating a tiny amount of food. Not a tiny amount, but like a small variety of food. And, her body was used to it. And then all of a sudden we start adding in vegetables and grains and, dairy and things that she wasn't consuming before. And she tends to eat more vegetarian vegan. So there's lots of grains and she loves lentils and vegetables and all of these things, which, like you go from one way of eating to another way of eating could potentially cause distress as well. So it's important to, kind of understand it. I ask clients to be really patient in the beginning. And then when somebody like maybe in the middle of it, like we've been together for several months, we she'll say, well, I'm starting to feel this, I'm starting to feel that. And then, we go back and look at her particular diet. We might see that, geez, she eats beans or lentils or legumes of some form every single day and maybe multiple times a day. Then we have to maybe go, maybe it's just a little too much of these things. And the thing is, there's so many other more, when I say bland, and I mean really mean bland in terms of face, but like non-reactive starchy grainy carbohydrates that we could potentially use, like potatoes and sweet potatoes and pastas and rice that are, just really more, they don't do much to your gut, right? And then we should, like once a day, maybe have a legume or kind of shifted things for her. And we started to see some improvement. She's definitely somebody who is, on social media and is constantly hearing things. And then between her and her mom as well, and her mom. So she had said to me the other day, like, I want to buy a rotisserie chicken or some, I forget where the things is, but it's not organic. Is that okay? And I was like, so interesting. Like, did I tell her that she could only have organic? Like, where did this come from? And it actually ended up coming out that her mom had only wants her to buy organic because she said organic, non-organic's bad for you. And so we've been talking about this food bullying aspect, and that, our food supply is safe, organic or not. And that eating wholesome real food is the priority. Getting rid of the crap is, how we protect ourselves, right? The crap is not safe. The real food is safe. And then we shouldn't let these things like overwhelm us. And so of course you could buy the rotisserie chicken that's not organic, and kind of have that, conversation. And she says, well, why do people say that? Why do those people say organic is better? And why is it so expensive? So it's more expensive because people say it's better for you. Right? The old supply and demand. I did not like economics class at all, the old supply and demand chain. But, organic is more costly to produce, right? So you could ask any farmer, and there are farmers that, on their property will have organic over here and non-organic over there, because they know the value, the dollar value of organic, but you're not going to sell as much. So you're not going to produce as much food for people. You're going to limit people who could actually buy your food. So you know what? We produce conventional and organic food so that you, the consumer, get to make a choice, but do not allow people to bully you into believing that organic is better or the best, or that you need to spend your money on it. So these are where conversations are really important, so that we can start to get rid of all the smoke and mirrors and help you just get down to being a healthier human being. Same thing, we've had conversations about soy and dairy and wheat and all these things. So if you are confused or need more conversations about, but I heard, or I read this article, or my neighbor told me, send me a message, post it up on the Facebook group. Let's have a conversation so that you can allow me to provide you the science and the evidence and anecdotal information as to how, this might fit in your life. I'll mention another client who has been with us for several years, and initially came to us, like the majority of clients come to me for weight loss. I want to turn that weight loss into long, healthy, independent life, and if you need to lose weight or gain muscle or gain bone or whatever, we want to do all those things. But for her, she was at a point in her life where she was really unfit, did not like exercise, had a pretty significant health situation, and, was kind of afraid of exercise and fitness. And when she came to us, she was somebody who could barely, get up and down off the ground without the assistance of a chair, a table, a bench, or something. She was not, postmenopausal woman, but not old by any stretch, whatever old means. But, along with her goal of weight loss, we also came up with the goal of her being able to ski with her grandkids a year later. And we're proud, to be part of that transformation. While there was weight lost, a lot of joy found in her food, a much healthier human being, she was able to, and still to this day is able to be incredibly active with all of her grandchildren, which to me is how we reap the benefits of all we've put into in this life we are living. So, does she still want to lose more weight? Never going to get people over the vision of what they think they should weigh. Does she need to for her health? Nope. Is she a fit individual? Can she do pretty much anything she wants to do fitness-wise? Yep. Is she a healthy human being? Yep. Does she enjoy beautiful, wholesome food? Yep. So that's a really awesome scenario. And then I just want to talk about one last client who came to me pre-COVID. COVID sucks. Who, kind of in that age range where, menopause is lurking, and, avid exerciser, which, I love when somebody already has got the exercise component in check, but, need to lose some weight. Not necessarily even to be healthy, but just not happy with her body composition, feels like she's working really hard. And, one of the things I find with clients like her is that they are under eating. And there's a lot of health ramifications to under eating. And the fact is, you deserve to eat a certain number of calories. You deserve it. And so if you're under eating your calories, not only your body is going to hold on to that body fat, I'm going to tell you right now, your body is really smart. If your body thinks that you're in famine, your body's going to go, hey, Jane, you're starving me. And so I got to protect myself. I got to do something to save myself because there's no food. Now, your body doesn't go, there's food right there at the grocery store. There's food in your kitchen, and there's food in the pantry. There's food in your refrigerator. Your body just says, holy crap, I'm not getting enough nutrition, calories. And so I have to protect itself. And so I'm going to go into famine mode. It's a biological stance where it will hold on to body fat, because your body fat is highly caloric. It will sustain you for a long period of time, and give up the muscle and bone. It's only trying to keep you alive, not trying to necessarily keep you in good shape or healthy or fit or any of those things. So if you're eating your calories and you can't understand why you can't lose weight, it's because you're starving yourself. So for this particular client, we got her to eat more calories. She started to enjoy beautiful meals, doing some cooking and, coming up with those basics for breakfast and snacks, and, started to make sure, especially when she was getting, some extra exercise and stuff, that she got to, own those extra calories that her body deserved, so that she could build and repair muscle and bone and really care for her body. And now she's at a point where she needs more calories again. And we just had a long conversation about, getting those calories you deserve. So, things don't stay stagnant. If, a situation comes up in her situation, she got an injury, we were talking about how to rehab that injury, how important nutrition is. And then we got into this whole conversation and understanding. I found out that she was still kind of eating the same amount of calories when she was trying to lose the weight, and she's not losing the weight anymore because the weight's gone, but she is still holding on to some body fat that she doesn't like. She's fine health-wise. She looks great, but you know, the mind. So I say, don't look too close in the mirror. So I say, it's a good thing. See, if I take my glasses off, like, I can't see so much. Like, don't look too close. That's why we start to lose our vision as we get older. So we don't see all the effects of aging. And that's okay. God is smart. So, you know, we talked about she needed to eat more, that she deserved to eat more. And with eating more, she was going to reap the benefits, probably have a little bit more energy, probably be able to give up a little of that body fat that she was desiring to do, and allow herself to heal better from her injury as well. So there's lots of details here. So, you know, you may think, oh yeah, I went through Mama G's plan. I know the template. I follow the, you know, I follow the guidelines. I know what I'm doing. It's constantly changing. We have to be malleable. We have to be willing to have conversations, talk about your certain scenario. If your goals have shifted, if you're not reaching your goals, if you're struggling, when every session I begin with somebody, we talk about what are your wins and what are your struggles and what are things that, you know, are on your mind so we can have conversations. So, you know, all things to think about. One of the things that I keep saying, like, I have thrown in the towel. I don't know if that's the word I want to use, but one of the things that drives me crazy is that majority of clients come to me for weight loss. And you know, while we can achieve weight loss, my real goal is that you will come to a healthy weight by using real wholesome food and calculated exercise to get you there, right? And that we'll have an opportunity to live this long, healthy, independent life. But I have to own the fact that the majority of clients come to me for weight loss. So guess what? Is Mama G Lifestyle a weight loss plan? Sure can be. Absolutely. If you are eating within your calorie budget. And that means for some of you who have abused your body for years and years, who have been on every diet, who have overexercised, undereaten, overeaten, yo-yoed, et cetera, that you're going to be a lot more tight in your food approach than somebody who has pretty much not exercised, been doing their own thing, and now starts with us. You know, that healthy plate approach versus using a MyFitnessPal, more calorie-based approach matters. Your calorie budget matters depending on the abuse you have put in your body through, how much muscle you have, how old you are, how active you are, et cetera. So just be aware of that. Like, owning that piece is a big deal. And if we have a conversation and I understand what you've been doing and we have a conversation of what you're willing to do and you actually do those things, you will be successful. But again, along the way, you have to understand that things will change in your life. Things will change along the way, that we need to meet up again and allow you to be, you know, kind of malleable and transition yourself, right? Things are always changing. So people worked the Mama G plan years ago, completely different plan today. Template kind of the same, but, you know, we're eating different proportions for certain reasons. It's more food-based, it's more nutrition-based. Try to get in certain things like enough protein, enough calories, enough calcium. So lots of things have changed, lots of details. So don't think that if you've been with me for a long period of time that you can just come back in and head right back in and you're going to be hitting the mark. You won't be. Lots of learning to do, lots of maneuvering to do, and I want you to kind of learn every sort of detail so that in the beginning, you're very hyper vigilant to all those things, and then as time goes on, they just become second nature to you and you don't have to think about them so much. Like me making a snack. Okay, where's my calcium protein source? Where's my fat source? Where's my fruit? So easy. Okay, today I had cottage cheese. I had a beautiful fresh peach and I had some cashews. It's easy. But for so many, it's not easy. So it's really important to ask for help and to continue to listen to the 101s, to listen to all of the lessons that I have produced and continue to produce to help you really learn the nuances and details to what healthy through nutrition and fitness will look like for you. So I'm not fighting the weight loss anymore. If there are people out there who want to lose weight and that's why they come to me, I'm all in. But if you don't think that I'm going to get in and I'm going to help them think about their future and their improved health, you're wrong, because it's 100% going to be in the back of my mind that I'm going to win in the end. The other place where I am giving in, throwing in the towel, I'm not sure the word. I feel like there's a different statement I want to say, is I'm in the midst of looking for companies that can provide my clients with meals. And I'm not talking about a HelloFresh type of meal where they're giving you the ingredients and you have to cook it yourself. So if that's what you want, come on. I am here to hold your hand. We're going to start doing Zoom cooking classes, hopefully on a weekly basis. I'm hoping this is going to start in August. And if not September for sure, where anybody who is part of it will get the recipe ahead of time, the shopping list ahead of time, so that they can actually cook with me live. It'll be recorded, so you can cook with me, not live, but we'll make a turkey bolognese, we'll make a chili, we'll make different things together. We'll go over nutrition tips. We will go over knife skills, cooking skills, safety skills, hygiene skills, all kinds of things that need to take place in the kitchen to produce beautiful, wholesome, safe food. So I think that's going to be a game changer for people. So, those meal prep companies that give you all the ingredients ready to go and you got to cook it, forget about it. I'm going to teach you how to cut vegetables really quick. You're going to knock them out. You can always buy pre-cooked, cut up stuff, but you don't need it. All right, let's save some money here. Now, for those people though, who I just don't have time, you got 2,000 excuses. I am going to be affiliated with a couple different companies. They all have to send me their food. I have to really delve into it, but that I feel like you're going to get real wholesome food that kind of hits our marks. Whether it's a company that you want lunch and dinner, the most I would ever suggest, and I don't even like this, but bringing lunches and dinners, and then we work together in providing your own breakfast and snacks, with the hope of less bringing out of lunches and dinners, so that you're cooking more and starting to shift from all prepared meals to preparing your own meals of some sort. So I think there's a happy medium there. I'm also looking at a company who works with people who have allergies and different things, food concerns, that might be relevant for clients at some point in time, especially when they first start with me. So it's one of those areas that I'm throwing in the towel, and I'm going to align with them, so that for those of you who have begged, pleaded, and asked me to cook meals for them, I don't think that's going to happen. And if I did cook meals, it would be for a very small group of private clients, and it would be for everybody who's local, nothing shipping anywhere. The companies that I'm looking into working with ship anywhere in the country. I do not approve of any of the packaging and all the waste and everything that goes along with it. So you better be recycling everything you can, but I give up. I wave the surrender flag. I want you to eat real wholesome food. And if I can't get you to eat real wholesome food by making it and buying it and preparing it and cooking yourself, even as base as it can be, I am going to find a few companies to align with that I feel really good about, for those of you who insist on purchasing it. All right, so there is my disclaimer on that, much to my dismay. So I talked about the cooking classes. One of the things that I'm going to be working more on with people, and this is where it's really important, the Zoom calls, the 101s are all based on client interactions. So either private clients or lifestyle members from the Facebook page, who ask me specific questions that I don't feel like I can answer quickly in a text, and that would benefit the group as a whole. So that's what all these topics come up for, because they are clients who have talked about it. And so one of the areas that I'm going to help more with is helping you evaluate more convenience foods. So is that the word? So, you know, like rotisserie chicken could be one of them, right? So I would call that a convenience food, but I wouldn't call it highly processed. All right. You know, there's some, you know, salt and different things they put in it, they inject it with to make it taste a little better. But, you know, rotisserie chicken that you pull the skin off of and utilize the chicken meat, dark and white meat, is easy, delicious, and you can get multiple meals out of it. And it's cheap. So I would call that a healthy, convenience food option. And I want to help you find more of those. Even things like frozen brown rice and quinoa, or packets of those kind of things, or using things like the Madras lentils and pairing that with a non-starchy vegetable. Like, I want to help you make this easier, but unless you say it to me, say it out loud, say it on a post in the Facebook group, I don't know what you need. So if you communicate it with me, I'm going to be better at it. So one of the things I've done recently, and if you haven't listened to that 101, a client had asked about like a veggie burger. And so when I was at Costco, I took a picture of all of the burgers, every frozen burger they had. And then we spent the call going over the burgers, veggie burgers, beef burgers, chicken burgers, turkey burgers, and evaluating them, right? Looking at the ingredients. Step one, what is in the product you want to eat? Do you even know what's in it? Step two, the nutrition label, to look at carbohydrates and fats, so, and protein, the macronutrients, looking at the calories, kind of assessing the situation, looking at the amount of sodium in it, the added sugar, things like that. So you need to be proficient at that if you're going to be buying packaged convenience foods. And then understanding, like, we want to keep it as basic as can be. If there's ingredients in there that you can't pronounce, run the other way. If we're seeing a high amount of sodium, if we're seeing a high amount of added sugar, if there's a lot of, you know, non-nutritive sweeteners like aspartame and stevia and all those kind of things, you know, understand that it's probably not going to be Mama G approved. But unless you ask, I can't help you, and I can't help you swap. So I have a client whose husband is, you know, pretty thin and a pretty picky eater, and, you know, doesn't like to eat breakfast, but, you know, goes to work pretty early. And, you know, like, she's like, I need to find maybe some kind of smoothie or something to send with him. So one of the things we do encourage people who are underweight to do is to drink more of their foods, because it's super easy to get calories in that way. So like when I have young men, especially athletes who want to gain weight, wouldn't that be nice? Like, we'll tell them, drink a quart of juice a day. Real juice, not full of sugar, because I want them to get at least some nutrition with it. And, you know, you get a couple 100,000 calories in a quart of juice. You do that every single day, it's gonna put on some pounds. We also want to partner that with exercise and protein and different things like that. But again, this becomes more personalized to the individual. But so, you know, I said, okay, when I go to Costco, I'm going to see what's going on. And so, you know, you'll see, like, they had like fresh juices and things like that. None of them, so they were just juice, right? So just carbohydrate, no protein, no calcium, no fat involved. I thought I might find like a, you know, refrigerated smoothie type of thing. No, found things, certainly found like shelf stable, things that kind of look like smoothie, but, you know, like protein drinks or muscle milk and all of those things. Well, number one, they only have like 100 to 200 calories. So for somebody who like needs a meal, and a guy and somebody who's thin, like, they need to be eating like 600 plus calories for their breakfast. So number one, you'd have to drink like 3 or 4 of these things, not cheap by any stretch, full of, you know, like a lot of things that I am not a fan of, protein powders and chemicals and preservatives and non-nutritive sweeteners. And really expensive. So we kind of decided to try like a kefir smoothie. So it was the only option I can find. So then I went to the grocery store and started looking there. So, and I was thinking about kefir. Kefir is a liquid yogurt. So that is our calcium, protein. It's got some fat in there. It's low fat. It's usually fruit based. So you've got some fruit in there. They taste good. They're easy to go down. I think there's 4 servings in a quart. The quart costs around $3, which is cheap compared to the little whatever that's called muscle milk or da 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 brand. Very expensive. And get 600 calories in, no problem. You know, hopefully over the course of the morning or over the course of the hours, driving to work, whatever, like he can get that down. Like that would be perfect. Even maybe a half a bottle and then partnering that with a muffin or something like that. I know that she had said to me like she was interested in smoothies, but that he leaves really early in the morning. So turning on like the Blended, the Vitamix, you know, the Ninja at that time wasn't really an option. So that's why we were kind of looking at that. We needed something more convenient. So, you know, these are things that we actually have to evaluate the situation and kind of talk through. And, you know, hopefully it'll be something that he might be interested in. You know, he could even do something like a chocolate milk, which is going to get him calcium and protein. And again, if we can find a bar or a ball or something that he might enjoy, that's calorie dense, you know, that's not so hard to get down, like we probably can find our perfect mesh for him so that he can get some calories, get some nutrition, so he's got the energy to start his day. And then, you know, as lunch comes or snack comes, he's a better eater at that time of day. So, you know, everybody kind of has their thing. We just have to figure out the best way to help you. But again, it requires communication. Today I had a great opportunity to work with a client, and we did a Zoom cooking class with 3 of her grandchildren, and it was super fun. I had 2 cameras I used. I was able to use one of my cameras so they can see like me doing like chopping and cooking techniques, and I was able to move it around as we need. They came up with the menu, which is going to be my menu tonight because I cooked with them at home myself, so that I could show them all the cooking techniques. We talked about things like how many teaspoons in a tablespoon. If you don't know, there's 3. We talked about how to compare how much fresh herbs to dried herbs, right? So fresh herbs have water in them. So you can use more fresh herbs. You have to use like half, you know, half the amount of dried herbs because all the water's gone. So they're more potent. So we did some learning. And I think with COVID and kids not being in school, coming up this fall, that I'll probably do more of that. I think that a lot of parents will want to incorporate a little, you know, life skills. Mama G can offer it in the kitchen, but they decided that they wanted to make one of their favorite meals. They get out, they go to Panini Grill, and they get chicken skewers, chicken kebabs, and veggie kebabs, and rice pilaf. So that's what we made, right? I found some really strong recipes on Google. I Google these things and I find like things that have high ratings and lots of people who have responded to them. And if I need to healthify them, I do. That's the way I do the majority of my recipes. But we made a beautiful marinade together. I taught them how to cut garlic. We made the marinade. We did our kebab thing. So it was really a wonderful time. So it's given me confidence to, you know, do more of these cooking classes with all of you. So be ready when I ask you things that you would like to learn or things you would like to make or techniques you need to learn. But it's going to be a little combination of nutrition learning and cooking techniques so that you start to feel better in the kitchen, more successful, and then you're able to provide beautiful, wholesome meals for your families. And remember this, I cook means you clean. So you need to make sure that you have that dialogue with your family members. If you are cooking, they need to clean that kitchen for you. Now, I will admit wholeheartedly that there are some days when I'm not stressed and I don't have 2 million things going on, and maybe I'm watching a show or I'm listening to music, where I'm cooking and I just clean as I go. And by the time the meal is ready, there's no dishes. It's all good, like great. That's a win-win. But there will be dishes after dinner. Promise you, the dishes that the food was in, the dishes that you ate the food after, and this is a family affair. And so if you are cooking, you need to have help cleaning, and that will make you be able to better enjoy being in the kitchen and preparing those meals with the people you love. And better yet, get them in the kitchen and let them be your sous chef, right? Let them do some chopping and cutting. It's one of the best things that you can teach your kids, regardless of their age, is how to cook and some basic cooking skills. I wanted to also mention about, talked about that. Talked about that. Yeah. And two last things I want to mention. One is we've talked in the past, and we'll continue to talk about probiotics. So our gut, and really we have microbiomes all over, but our gut microbiome is really important. Our gut microbiome is what drives our immune system. So the healthier microbes that live from the top of your esophagus to the tip of your anus, the healthier our microbiome is in your gut, the healthier you're going to be, the better you're going to be able to combat viruses and bacteria and the bad guys that come in. So we do that with real wholesome food. We do that also with making sure we're getting a variety of food. We do that also with making sure we're getting probiotics, and that we feed those probiotics with prebiotics, all of which can come from food. So I'm not talking about buying a probiotic or a prebiotic, which you could now buy, but I'm talking about utilizing food that have a probiotic effect, like things like live cultures that you will find in many dairy foods, kefir and yogurt and cottage cheese and soft cheeses. Now I forget, but we've seen it in cheese. You can see it in different fermented foods. So I utilize kombucha. Kombucha is a fancy little bottle, which I hate, but I recycle it. I only buy Synergy. I'll have to post a picture because it is Wednesday. I do need to have my half a bottle of kombucha. I only buy a particular brand because it's the only one I found that is only sweetened with fruit juice. So it's basically tea, fruit juice, and these microbes. And it'll tell you, contains millions of blah, 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 blah. So we like different kinds of microbes. They're the good guys. So we want to have more good guys, less bad guys, so that the good guys can beat up the bad guys. Think about Pac-Man eating up the bad guys. And so one way that I increase the variety of the population of my microbiome is by having a little kombucha. Now, if you've not tried kombucha, it's like a bubbly tea, sweet tea. And again, brand makes a difference because I'm not a big fan of added sugar. I'd rather get it from fruit. But you could try one bottle a week, and every other day during the course of your week, so 3 days, drink 1/3 of that bottle. That's it. That is enough microbes to start to begin increasing the diversity of your gut. Do not ever think you're going to drink a bottle a day. And people will, and I think the first time I ever had it, my son suggested I had it. I definitely drank the whole bottle. I suffered with gastritis, which is no joke, like inflammation of my stomach lining, and it took weeks to resolve. That's how potent it is. So be careful if you've got people prescribing you probiotics that have trillions of microbes. Be very, very careful, because too many good guys crowding up your gut can cause just as much damage as the bad guys. So there is the tip of the day, a little kombucha. I will definitely post up on the Facebook page the brand I like. I get nothing from them. Hopefully someday I will. It's a thing, I guess. But that, live cultures in your yogurt, and then fermented foods, kimchi and fermented vegetables in different areas are great sources. And then don't forget that those probiotics, those good microbes, they're AKA the same thing, need to be fed. And one of the best sources to feed those good bacteria are prebiotics, we call them. We can get it from food, but it's like cruciferous vegetables, which you should all be eating, right? Cauliflower and kale and broccoli and arugula and blah, blah, blah. Now, we get lots of other foods that act as prebiotics that the probiotics like to eat. But the best thing I can say is more cruciferous vegetables, a variety of fruits and vegetables and grains and legumes, and we will have a beautiful, healthy microbiome. And that will not only improve your immune system, allow you to combat things like COVID-19, but will help you lead a long, healthy, independent life. And with that segue, have a beautiful evening.